Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on, a bit explain what's going on, and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. Here we go.
There's no reason to lie to us when we're just trying to help.
Okay, so they provide a little bit of information about this incident, but they just don't provide a whole lot of information about this incident. So they had stopped, these troopers had stopped to provide a motorist assist to these people. A motorist assist is where officers assist people on the roadway when they see that they are having car trouble. They appear to be broke down. The hood's up on the car. Obviously, it's not running anymore. They may have a flat tire, whatever. It's a very common thing in law enforcement. These people, their car did in fact break down, and the troopers just stopped to help them out. A vehicle being abandoned on the side of the roadway, especially something like a highway or something like that, and it being at night, I mean, it's pretty close to the line anyway. So cars are going to be going by super fast. It's just a bit of a hazard for other motorists to have a vehicle broken down on the side like that. And they could be in distress. Who knows why the vehicle is parked on the side? Maybe the occupants could have been having a medical emergency, a diabetic emergency, a heart attack, something, and they didn't have a cell phone working, or bad cell coverage area. A number of reasons why it would be a good idea for law enforcement to stop and check on people. So, doing a motorist assist, very common law enforcement thing. And at some point, they came to the knowledge that these people were not who they said they were. They don't provide the whole video. And I think that if they did, it would probably be easy to figure out how they figured this out. But I suspect that probably what has happened is when the officer pulled over to get out with them, he called in the dispatch what his location was, where they're at, and the tag on that vehicle and the description of the vehicle. That way if something happens, boom, they know exactly where he's at, the vehicle description, everything. I would suspect that when the tag got ran, the dispatcher looked up the registered people or the person and saw that they have a warrant for their arrest. And that was probably when these officers started asking them questions about who they were. Or they could have just asked them who they were. They're making a simple contact with people. One of them's a driver, trying to make contact with the driver, trying to determine whether or not they have a valid operator's license to be able to be operating on the roadway, and just to be checking to see if they have warrants. It's a very common thing. These people provide fake names, and they eventually figure out who they are. They both have warrants out for their arrest. The guy has a warrant out for his arrest for trespassing on private property in Lincoln County, New Mexico, and shooting at the property owner, and then failing to show up to court over that. And the woman, she had felony weapons charges. I don't recall exactly what it was, but she was wanted in connection to that New Mexico case. So don't know the circumstances behind that incident, but that is where we're at now. And this officer is going to find out exactly who this guy is, and then boom, try to take him into custody.
The only thing I was trying to do is help. You guys could have been long down the road, probably 15, 20 minutes ago down the road, if you would have just said, here's my ID, and been done, right?
Yes.
It would have solved so much. But you guys have...
No, he's going back and forth.
It adds.
Moving forward.
It's not all cops are bad, right? I've been very... it's okay.
You've been nothing like...
And I have a herniated disc. I mean, I kind of just...
Let me go check it real quick, Brandon. All right. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. I'm going to have you turn around for a minute. All right. Turn. No.
Hey, I'm
Brandon.
not going in cuffs.
Brandon, we're not doing this. Listen to me.
Hey,
Brandon.
I'm not.
We're done.
I'm not going in cuffs.
Hey, Brandon.
We're done.
Stop.
No!
Brandon.
No!
Stop.
Brandon.
What?
Stop.
Stop.
If you don't stop, I'm adding charges to you.
Charged with resistance.
You're going to get extra charges.
Stop.
All right, Brandon, we're done. We're done.
Get your hand. Stop.
Go left.
Stop resisting.
Brandon. Christine, stay out of the car.
Do it.
Christine, stay out of the
What are you doing? What are you
Christine, stay out of the car.
Protecting me. We had bear spray.
Christine, please step backwards.
Stop.
Please hit.
Please let
Stop.
me
It's
go,
just a stupid.
please.
Christine, please step back.
I'm begging
Yes.
you.
Stop.
Christine,
Stop.
listen to me.
Please, I'm
I need you to
begging
stop. Please back up for me.
I'm begging you.
Back up for me.
Please, I'm begging you.
Stop.
Don't do
Christine.
this.
I can't.
We're gonna die.
No, you're not.
We
Christine,
are gonna die.
I need
They're
you to
trying
back.
to kill us. They tried to kill us in there.
Ducoin X.
Please don't. Please.
Ducoin X83. Send additional.
Please don't.
You're gonna have to bear spray me.
Stop. Stop.
Christine, get out of that car. Christine, deal with her. Christine, back up.
I was in the military. You're gonna have to shoot me.
I'm not fucking going.
Stop, Jerry.
Hey!
Get him.
On the ground.
Taser, taser.
Hey, go back.
Christine, get back.
Go cuff him. Go cuff.
Shoot me in the head.
Christine, get back.
Stop, Jerry.
Oh, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. Gun. Ducoin X83. Shots fired. Shots fired. Suspect. Officer shot. Officer shot.
Shots fired.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go. Go back. Go back. Get back. Get back behind my car.
Good. Good. Where am I shot?
He's got a gun. He's got a gun. Run!
Okay, so it seems like to me at the beginning of the video, the way he's talking to him, obviously they were being non-compliant, not being truthful, given the correct names and everything, trying to deceive them and conceal their identity. Obviously, that's not going to work. I mean, the vehicle has a tag on it. It's most likely coming back to one of them who it's registered to, and that's a database that you can't get around it. So they figured out who the heck he is and who she is. So based off the fact that they would have been able to know what the warrants were for, I think that having that knowledge would have justified them in using a higher level of force when he started resisting. If you know the person's got weapons charges, they've shot at people, that means they are violent. That would, to me, justify the minute they start resisting, slam them down on the ground hard. Take control over them very quickly and aggressively. Is it possible that the warrant stuff didn't really indicate that the dude was shooting at people or shooting at a person. Plausible, I guess. I don't know how that information would have been entered from their state. Whatever their charges were, it said weapons charges. It could have been something like he was in possession of a gun that he wasn't supposed to be in possession of, or he was carrying a concealed weapon in his state when he didn't have a concealed carry license. Is that an end of the world charge? Is that a charge that's indicative of someone being a true violent person? No, not necessarily. So it may not have had information in there that he'd shot at people, but it most likely did. It most likely had something like that in there. And so I think that would have been justification in being able to up the level of force once he started to resist. Now, this whole grabbing him by the wrists and trying to, wrestle him in the cuffs, at the very beginning, when someone starts to resist and you start applying just a little bit of force to them, they may quickly come to the realization that, oh, this is a bad idea. I shouldn't be resisting. I'll submit. Generally, though, it's just not a good idea to start this power play of trying to grab the arms and, pull back and forth on them like this. It's not going to work out. When a person's arms are out like that and they're bringing them in, you would be surprised about how much control a person can exert over two people trying to control them. Even three people. Sometimes some people are just hard to physically deal with. And so this is where learning good hand-to-hand techniques comes into play. Now, I don't teach hand-to-hand stuff, so I don't think I would be able to do the justice in being able to verbally describe or explain some techniques or anything like that. I think realistically some of that would require some video enactments so that you kind of get a better idea of what I'm trying to explain. And I just don't have the means for that. But they could have, I think, tried some techniques to gain better control of this guy, get him into an arm lock or some type of lock or whatever to get control over him to where he's not able to control his upper limbs, take him down on the ground, pin him to the ground, and then cuff him. So now we have him resisting. They're unable to gain good control over him, and now she is starting to get involved.
We're done.
Stop.
No!
Brandon!
So she's grabbing a hold, and she is now adding more chaos to this. So now it's not just 2-on-1, it's now 2-on-2. If it had just been him, and these two troopers were trying to deal with him, maybe this could have changed. Maybe this could have ended differently. But now that she's involved, now they have to be worrying about her. She's gotten physical at this point. Now they're both physical. At this point, you have to increase the level of force. Trying to stay down here at this lowly level of force, it's not working. It's not going to end well. They seem to stay focused on very minimal physical force and a lot of verbal commands. Trying to remain at the verbal level and resolve things through verbals and verbal de-escalation, it doesn't work all the time. It may work with some people in some instances, but a lot of times it just don't work. And when there's an over-reliance and over-emphasis on verbal de-escalation, I think it creates an unsafe scenario and causes the situation to actually escalate to something higher. Because when all you do is sit there and say, stop, don't do this, stop resisting or else, stop resisting or else, I'll tell you again. They don't fear that. It's like a little kid who has not been taught to mind their elders, to listen to their parents. You know, these little bratty kids, you hear the parents say, stop, quit doing this, and the kid doesn't stop and actually looks at them and kind of smirks like, fuck you gonna do? just trying to remain at the verbals only to verbally de-escalate will actually cause things to escalate because they're not taking you serious. They got shit to be worried about you if all you keep doing is saying, you better stop it, stop resisting. Okay, you've told them. Now you make them. So using physical force can actually de-escalate a situation. You know, some people, it's like their heads blow up on this. Like, what? What do you mean using physical force will de-escalate? You're not supposed to use physical force. You're supposed to verbally de-escalate. Yeah, that's where you're wrong. That is where you're wrong. Sometimes punching a motherfucker in the face will de-escalate things from getting higher than what they are. So in this instance, I think that they could have used a higher level of force against him and even her. You'll see here in a second his arm, the trooper's arm.
Stop, Brandon.
What?
Stop. If you don't stop, I'm adding charges to you.
Stop.
All right, Brandon, we're done. We're done.
Get your hand. Stop. Stop resisting.
All right, so his arm goes up to the neck and then it comes back down real quick. He does that with both arms. I don't know if he had it in his head that he was going to put this guy in a chokehold or not. It's possible, but I just don't know for sure. But I will say that a bilateral carotid restraint is an effective technique. I've used it several times before in the past. It is extremely effective. It was one of my most favorite moves to be able to do. Put somebody in a chokehold, make him go unconscious in like 10, 12 seconds. I mean, it's fast. You get good, proper technique, get that squeeze on, boom, they pass out right in your arms. Beautiful. There's no wrestling, there's no fighting, no hurting afterwards. 10 seconds of a hold is really all you need, and boom, they are out. Unfortunately, you can mess that up, and it can result in a death. So the idea is to the middle of the throat, where the Adam's apple is at, you put that in the bend of the arm. So between your forearm and your bicep, where the elbow area is, the V shape. That's where the Adam's apple goes. That's a good spot right there to protect that area so that you don't damage that area. What happens when it's done incorrectly is the forearm part ends up going up against the person's throat and ends up crushing inwards, damaging their trachea, their larynx. And then people end up dying from that. So you've got this movement in a lot of places where, chokeholds are bad. Agencies specifically ban chokeholds. You can't be doing them, yada, yada, yada. And that's just because they were not properly applied. If you properly apply them, they're extremely effective. And like I said, I've lost count how many people I've choked out. I've choked out a shit ton of people. And as I said, it is a great technique. All it takes is 10 seconds. For most people, it takes about 10 seconds. And then they're out. There's no wrestling around on the ground for, a minute and having to punch people and then getting punched. I mean, 10 seconds is all you need. And their ass is passed out. A hard takedown. Could they have done a hard takedown? Take this guy down hard. Maybe deliver some strikes to his face. Decentralize him. Reset his OODA loop there. Put fear into him. Make him submit that away. Is that a possibility? Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. And I think it would have been a justified possibility as well. Her going hands-on at that point. Interfering with this arrest. Assaulting the peace officer. I don't care. As minimal as what you think it is, just simply putting a fucking finger on an officer is assault. Plain and simple. It's assault, just the same as if you punch them. So the fact that she put her hands on them, that automatically right there, force needs to be applied against her. Palm strike to the face. Aggressively parrying her away. Just basically pushing her back into the grass. That would have been acceptable in my opinion. You do this and this is going to happen. Don't touch me or else. I just don't think they're putting a whole lot of command presence into this. Their verbals are pretty soft. They're not raising their tones. They're not. I don't think they're dominating this space right here the way they need to be. They're not exerting their dominance.
Brandon, Christine, stay
He starts to grab the dude's leg like he's going to
out
take
of the
him off
car.
balance and take him down.
Do it. Christine, stay out.
But then he stops. So I don't know why he stops. I don't know if it's because she goes running around and now he's thinking about is she going to be going for a gun, whatever. That could be why he stopped. I have no idea. He does end up going for his taser later, but right here I think is a perfect opportunity to be able to draw a taser. This guy's got hands on him. He obviously was able to take his hands off and try to get him around his legs, and nothing happened any further as far as him getting loose or anything like that. I think he could have drew this taser, got it out, deployed it into the dude, and maybe that could have allowed them to get better control over this guy and prevent him from getting inside the car and getting the gun. Certainly, this girl, something needs to be done with her. He could have simply, as she's coming back around, causing problems, he could have reached to his belt, aimed it out, sprayed her in the face, took her out of the fight, and then sprayed this guy in the face as well.
What are you doing? What are you
Christine, stay out of the car.
taking me? We had bear spray.
Christine,
What?
What are you
Christine, stay out of the car.
taking me? We had bear spray.
It sounded like he said, "You're attacking me. We have bear spray." Okay.
Christine, please step backwards.
Stop.
Please,
Please let
Stop,
him
it's
go,
just a stupid-
please.
Christine, please step back.
I'm begging
Yes.
you.
Stop.
Christine,
Stop.
listen to me.
Please, I'm
I need you to stop. Please back up for me.
I'm begging you.
Back up for me.
Please, I'm begging you.
Stop.
Don't do
Christine.
this.
I can't.
We're gonna die.
No, you're not.
We
Christine,
are gonna die.
I need
They're
you back.
trying to kill us. They tried to kill us in there.
Ducoin X,
Please don't. Please.
Ducoin X83, send additional.
Please don't.
You're gonna have to bear spray me. Stop. Stop.
Christine, get out of that car. Christine, deal with her. Christine, back up.
I was in the military. You're gonna have to shoot me.
I'm not fucking going.
Stop, Julie. Hey!
Get him.
Ow! On the ground!
Taser, taser.
Hey, go get him!
Christine, get back.
Go cuff him! Go cuff!
Shoot me in the head.
Christine, get back.
Stop, Julie!
Oh, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. Run.
All right. So he gets his taser out and deploys this guy, but he seems to have some issues on getting the taser out initially.
Stop, Julie! Stop, Julie! Stop, Julie! Hey!
Get him.
Ow! On the ground!
So, placement of your equipment. I see so many times the taser being just kind of in a awkward spot, in my opinion. So notice his firearm, like the live gun. Notice its placement right here. It's almost in the same kind of placement, just on the opposite side of this guy. Like if this dude was a left-handed person, this would be about the position of where his live handgun would be at. This opposite side cross draw, I think, is a little it's a little unrealistic as far as ease of access to this fighting weapon in a cross draw configuration. Now, if it's a straight draw configuration where it's a holster where the butt of the handle goes this direction and it allows him to just simply reach down one-handed, unholster taser and bring it out and aim and fire taser one-handed, then that's an acceptable setup on this kind of placement right here on the side of the belt. But cross draw, that's a little too far placement for this right hand to be able to reach across and draw the right-handed cross draw holster. It's just not a good placement in my opinion. If you're going to have a cross draw, it needs to be closer to the front, in my opinion. That way, ease of movement makes it easier to draw. So you see that he has to exert more effort into getting this thing out.
Stop doing.
Hey!
Get him! Ow! On the ground!
Carry the taser!
Hey, go get him!
Christy, get back!
Go cuff him! Go cuff!
So it appears to have the desired effect of NMI. He immediately drops down, but then he starts to get up. So I suspect that either A, one of the probe wires is broken and no longer getting a complete circuit, or it's possible that, you know, after he fell, both wires have broken.
Stop doing.
Hey! Get him!
So he gets him in the back really good.
Carry the taser!
Hey, go get him!
Christy, get back!
Go cuff him! Ow! On the ground!
Carry the taser!
Hey, go get him!
Christy, get
Hey!
Get him!
Ow! On the ground!
Carry the taser!
Hey, go get him!
Christy, get back!
Go cuff him! Go cuff!
Shoot me in the head!
Carry the taser!
So at this point, if he's moving like that, obviously NMI is not occurring. The loud cycling of the taser is a sign that you're not getting a good connection. So what can you do at this point? Well, you could either fire the other cartridge if you have the style of taser that has two cartridges in it, or you can complete the circuit by taking the gun and ramming it into another part of the body to complete that circuit. Unfortunately, that seems to be lost on many officers, and I attribute that to bad training caused by taser due to stupid-ass, expensive cartridges. I just don't think officers are able to train effectively with taser because taser or Axon puts the prices on their cartridges so freaking high, it's hard for agencies to afford good training. Ideally, I believe that a user course for taser should have you fire no less than 10 cartridges. Like, you should be popping at least 20 cartridges in a good taser class. And when I went through instructor class for taser, we popped a lot of cartridges. A lot of live ones and a lot of the blue training ones. I mean, I forget how many cartridges I popped, but it was like probably around 20 cartridges. That should be the user level course right there. Unfortunately, what you see, because agencies are so cash strapped, is they sit through this PowerPoint presentation and then they may fire at most like 4 or 5 cartridges at most on a good day at a good agency. Sometimes they just do the very bare minimum requirement where they fire 1 cartridge into the target, perform reload, and then fire again. And that's it. They fire like maybe 2 or 3 times for qualification, and then they're done. That sucks. That's not good. That's not good training right there. You're not able to get a lot of repetitions in. You're not able to do a lot of good reality-based training with that. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why Axon has been trying to push their virtual reality training, because you can do the virtual reality a million times. You can fire a million cartridges in virtual reality, but you can't fire that many live or training cartridges because they're just so damn expensive. And so because of that, I see that carrying over to poor performance. You hear the loud cycle of the taser, this guy's moving around, that's instantaneous. Hey, follow up with a 3-point drop stun. or just fire a secondary cartridge into him. It's also plausible at this point, I think, while he is deploying taser with one hand, he could have reached down with his other spare hand and pulled out OC and just started painting this dude's face and painting his head with OC.
Christine, get back! Go cuff him! Go cuff!
Shoot me in the head!
And again, trying to grab the arms and trying to control him, or incorrectly trying to grab these arms and everything, trying to control him, using, I guess, minimal amount of force. Like, he needs to be ripping his ass away from this open doorway. They're like, this guy is trying to get into the car for some reason. This is where, like, if you could go Hulk moment on this person, this is where you go Hulk moment on this person. This is where you exert the most amount of physical force you are capable of exerting, and you dominate them.
Christine, get back! Stop it! Oh, he's got a gun! He's got a gun!
Now watch him when he pulls the gun out.
Stop!
Watch the suspect.
Oh, he's got a gun! He's got a gun!
He puts the gun to his head at first. So this tells me this guy is having those kind of ideological beliefs that he wants to unsubscribe from life. So he puts that gun to his head, and you see him kind of flinch and tense up.
Stop it! Oh, he's got a gun! He's got a gun!
But I guess in that moment, he's too chicken shit to do it himself, and so he's going to force these guys to do it for him.
Stop it! Oh, he's got a gun! He's got a gun! Stop it! Oh, he's got... Christine, get back! Stop it! Oh, he's got a gun! He's got a gun! Stop it! Oh, he's got a gun! He's got a gun!
This is the moment where you start shooting more. With his tunnel vision and everything going on, he may not be able to see exactly what's going on with this guy, but his fellow officer is now on the ground, laying down, and he is not making any good, hard, aggressive movements to get back on his feet. At this point, you have to assume he's out of the fight. And you have to assume that if he's not dead right now, he's going to die soon from rapid blood loss. Firing a couple rounds and then trying to wait and see in this moment, no. Like, this guy, why is he getting back in this car? Is he getting a rifle at this point? Is he trying to get his gun fixed? Why is he back in here? This is where he needs to aggressively start putting rounds into that passenger seat right there. Car door is open. He can make an aggressive push towards that area while firing, shooting rounds in through this open area and incapacitate that threat.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Suspect! Officer shot! Officer shot! Officer shot! Shot! Officer shot! Officer shot!
So something, it looks like, falls off to the front of him. I don't know what it is. No idea.
Shots fired! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, go back, go back, get back, get back, Mama. Gun! Gun!
Yeah.
Gun!
Yeah, this is this is mag dump moment right here. Absolutely. This is when you just start fucking unloading into this person. So, good thing this guy, the suspect, he tried to kill them. Good thing he didn't survive. The girl, she needs to be charged for this guy's death. She got him killed. She interfered with what was going on, and she interjected and caused a lot of chaos into this scenario, distracted these officers from being able to do what they needed to do to take this guy into custody. She is 110% responsible for that guy dying. Now, that guy is obviously ultimately responsible for himself dying. I mean, he's the one who pulled the gun. But I don't think that he would have been in a position to be able to pull that gun had she not been fucking dicking around, screwing with them, distracting them, adding chaos, preventing them from taking him into custody. She's responsible for his death, and she needs to be held criminally liable for that. Not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.